Greetings, everyone. My name is Prabir.
Before we jump into, look at the configuration of inbound outbound email configuration, let's just have a look at what those are actually. Let's understand a little bit about it. If you see, there is inbound email configuration. In the document, you'll find this as simply email configuration, and there will be the outbound email configuration. For the outbound email configuration, you will see this as a simple email configuration, right? And then inbound email configuration basically is required to receive incident over email. I mean, if there is an email, someone is sending an email to SOAR platform, right? So SOAR can create an incident out of that email. What is the outbound email configuration? Outbound email configuration is required to invite users. So there are different ways that you can create a user on the platform. One is through command line, REST util command. Then you can also integrate the user repositories like LDAP and SAML. Also, there is another options which is invite users, which SOAR platform, if configured with a proper mail server, send out an invitation to the user in the mail address that you will specify, and then send a link over the email so that they can register themselves on the platform with the role, of course, that you will provide while creating the invitation itself. So this is about outbound email configuration. So platform sends email messages to users for notifications. I mean, this outbound email configuration is also required to send out the notification. So in the earlier sessions that we have, learn about the notification, custom notifications, if any of the activity, any of the user or admin is doing. So if you plan to let other users notify about the same activity, that can be done using the system notification as well as, over the email. So that email will only work if this outbound email configuration is done. Okay, how we can do that? Outbound email configuration has to be done from the command line using this command, rasutil smtp edit. For example, this is a sample command, rasutil smtp edit. You specify the email and the name of the email inbox. This is the email address from where the the email will be sent out. This is the mail server smtp example.com and the port on which it is running. User, the SOAR, it could be an email or a valid user of the email server against which you can authenticate. Next, we'll see how to configure inbound email address. So inbound email configuration, you can have multiple email address configured for this inbound email. You can receive multiple emails from different inboxes or mail servers so that SOAR can create incident out of it. You may have a designated inbox for a phishing related incident. You may have a inbox for a designated some other incident type of some other incident type. So that can be also done. So there are the scope or features you can say to add one or more mail servers. Next, the playbook designer. Inbound email, we'll see that because incident creation out of a mail requires a couple of steps. It's not pretty direct. I mean, without configuration, it would not by default trigger. Okay, there's a small configuration which is required, and that configuration also needs there is a script in play. Okay, so which takes care of processing the email and then is responsible to create an incident out of it. So we'll see about that. Hence, this is mentioned playbook designer. Playbook designer in QRadar SOAR platform is a role, okay, is a role of a person who are, or who is well versed with a little bit Python programming or any kind of programming, right? You can configure one or more email connections under the organization step that we'll see, okay? So let's jump into the demo. So this is the default screen. So I'm just going to log out of this, screen and then go to a org where my email configuration has not been done. So if you see this inbox, click on that, and then you'll see this information, add a connection to create cases from emails. By the way, so this inbox will not be visible to everyone. It depends on the role, what you have on the platform. So if you happen to be an admin or happen to have a custom role with proper permission to view the emails and configure the emails, then only you will have the inbox visible to you, else it is not. So if you log into the platform and if you do not see the inbox, that means you do not have permissions to do that or read the email or configure it. You can add the connection to click on this button, add connection, and you'll get a add new connection dialog open up like this. Okay. Or we can go to administrator settings and then go to org, and then there is a inbound email connections. Okay. So this is how we are going to configure the inbound email connection. Now, we can check with the, outbound email configuration, how it's done. Sudo resutil smtp edit help. This is the command we'll have to use to configure the outbound email configuration. Email, the from email address from mail messages, and then host, name of the mail messages. Basically, this is to with regards to this email, and then no start TLS. If you see, this is an optional switch, okay, but it's the other way around. It's no start TLS, okay? No start TLS says default false, meaning if you do not specify the switch, by default, it will use start TLS. So if you do not want to use no start TLS, you have to explicitly no start TLS to true. Okay. Then port, okay, of course. So I'm going to show you how you can see the existing SMTP. I have already configured this. So I'm just going to hit this SMTP show command so that we can see what I have configured already. Takes a moment and then pull in the configuration. So it will basically print out the email and then the name and the server and the port and the user which was used to authenticate against the mail server. As you can see, SMTP host members 1.example.com running on port 25. That's the SMTP server. And then SMTP user is SOAR@example.com. This is the value for this parameter user. Okay. And then password is basically it will ask you, though you do not see any switches for the password. So once you specify the user switch, it's going to ask you the password for the SMTP user. Okay. And then SMTP from email address. This is the email address from where it's going to send out the email or notifications to the respective users. And this is the name. This name will come up in the email inbox, right? So example.com will be the email address, and then QRadar SOAR will be the mail. Start TLS is false. I have not set to start TLS because it's a demo machine. So we have just done without the start TLS. All right. So this is basically the outbound configuration. Let's see how this works. So let me log in here. We'll go to administrator settings and then go to users and then go to invite user. Okay. Now I'm going to type one of the mail address of an employee, let's say mira@example.com, and then I'll choose a role, or I can choose as well a group or both. Okay, I'll just choose the role here, global roles, observer, and send invitation. Okay, user successfully invited. So Once the invitation is sent, probably the user, if your email connection is working okay, right? The SMTP server is reachable and everything is fine, then the user will get the invitation. And until that invitation is accepted, or probably, once the user who got the email address or the invitation for registration on the SOAR platform, until they have registered, this email, this entry is going to show up here. Okay, mira@example.com, pending invites. Pending invites meaning that someone from the SOAR platform has invited a user, but they still have not registered themselves on the platform. Once they register it, it will automatically go away. Okay, so let's see. So I have probably configured this one. So this is the a demo mail server that we have built for this bootcamp, and this is one of the user mira@example.com, right? So if you click here, okay, and this is the invitation. This is how it looks like. So I'll just zoom in a bit. Okay. So if you see this, the mail came from soar QRadar.soar@example.com, QRadar soar, and then it sends out, it gives you a little bit, information about the platform and then the documentation link. And at the end, it gives you the registration link. soar@example.com, invite, and then a key. Okay. So if I'm going to click on this key, okay, this is how it's going to look like. Create your IBM Security QRadar SOAR account. So I'm going to create this a title. So I'll say analyst, and then phone, I'll just give it demo phone. Okay, and then password. Password should be, password must actually contain minimum of 15 characters. So once it satisfies, everything will turn into green on the side box that you're seeing. Sorry. Okay, so the screen. All right, next click I have to read, I have read and, agree to the terms of use, create your account. So once that is done, the account will be created and be logged into the platform. Okay, so you see this, Mira, this logged into the bootcamp orgs and is created with this user permissions, the observer permissions that you had given, right? There is no administrative settings or customization settings that you can see. So this is no admin. Okay. Now let's see where it is. Uh, let's see the pending invites. What happens to the pending invites? So once we click on let's click users. Okay. Now if you see pending invites is gone. Okay. This pending invites is gone. And the user will be under users. Just give it a refresh. Go to admin settings and the users. Okay. You see this? Mira and the user as an observer is created. Okay. That's how you create or invite user using email. Okay. And the user themselves will register on the platform. All right. So once the invite user is done, we'll move to another configuration, which is the inbound email configuration. For that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to log out from this user, and then, we don't have to log out actually. So I'm just going to show you here. Okay. So once the inbox, you configured this inbox. So we go to customization settings, administrator settings, org, inbound email configuration. You see this? This is the one that I have created. So earlier we saw about this dialog, right? Add new email connection. So this is what it looks like. Now, if I can show you this configuration, this is the demo mail server. Give it a name, QRadar SOAR email, and then API name for this will be generated automatically for you. This is the IMAP protocol and the host name of the mail server, and then this is the IMAP protocol, IMAP running on port, this one, 143, and then email address, soar@example.com. So this is the dedicated email inbox that you are assigning to the source. So someone or some service needs to send an email to this email address so that SOAR can create an incident out of it. So this is the monitoring. I mean, SOAR will monitor this email address. Okay. So once this is done, just click Save in Test Connections. Okay. None. You can use Start TLS or SSL TLS. For that, you'll need certificate. But this is the demo system, so we just click None. Okay. And once everything is configured, the connection status, you'll see a green tick mark and it will say connected. That means the inbound configuration is properly connected. Once this step is done, okay, what we can do now, let's test if we are able to create an incident out of an email. So for that, what we need to do is we need to send an email to this dedicated email address. So if someone asks you, right, so you are a platform user of SOAR, QRadar SOAR. If someone happen to ask you, do you know the email address where I can send a, report an incident so that, SOAR platform can create or an incident, or if you have a remediation plan of some type, then what you can do, I mean, if you forgot, so you can always go there and then, you can check the organization and then email address configuration, and you can see the email address. What is the email address? This will be the email address where someone needs to send an email, right? So for that, we'll go here and then create the send an email. So just minimize this. Okay, this is the mail client. So from here, I'm going to compose a new email, and then we'll have to send it to SOAR. Probably the font size, this is a VM, so bear with me, please. SOAR@example.com. So I'm going to check, I'll just see, phishing attack test email. Hello, team. And then we can say, seems like a phishing attack from an URL, https phishme.com, and then probably IP address 192.168.40.40. Okay, just a sample email, just sending it to soar@example.com, and you see this inbox, the soar@example.com received. Let's see, if this is processed by the SOAR platform. If you see, this email came to this SOAR platform, okay, and then it's not, we're going to check the incident, and we do not see with this incident with this email address, or sorry, the subject, phishing attack test email. If we see, no. So incident generated from email test 234, that's not the one. So it is supposed to create an email or incident out of this subject, phishing attack test email. So what we can do, so there are a couple of steps required to generate an incident out of an email. Let's see that. So first thing first, we'll have to go to customization settings, okay? Customization settings, and then we'll have to check at a rule, okay? The rule which will process the inbound email. So the responsibility of this rule is to, parse the email, parse the values out of it, doing some regexes around the content of the, email body or maybe subject, and then create incident out of it, or maybe add artifacts to the incident if it happens to find any artifacts performing some regexes in the content of the body, right? So out of the box, when you install QRadar SOAR, you'll get this sample script, process inbound email 49, version 49. So this script is provided to you by default. Okay. What we can do, we can just copy paste this one. So Control A, Control C, you can copy paste this one and then create a new one, which I have created, process inbound email. I've just given another version 50. Okay. So this is the only thing that I have changed. Okay. About that. So by default, I'll just repeat. So by default, when we go to the customization settings, okay, when you go to the customization settings, there is a script, and this sample script, this is the default script. If you click on it, you will see a script here, Python script as a language Python 3. Okay. So instead of modifying the default one, what we can do, we can copy paste, Control A C, and then create a new one. Okay. Go to script back and then process inbound email. So this is the one that I've created, version 50, and then copy paste the entire content of the script. Okay, and then you have to select object type email message. This only thing that I have changed is this field, new incident owner. I'll just switch. Okay. So this new incident owner, what is this meaning is change this value to reflect who will be the owner of the incident before running the script. Okay. So when SOAR platform will process the inbound email from soar@example.com, for example. That's the dedicated email address in our case. So when SOAR is going to process the email, who will be the initial owner of the incident? Who will own the incident? So that's what you need to specify in the new incident owner field. That's about it. That's the basic configuration it requires. Okay. And then there is a IPv4 allow list, and this IPv6 allow list also, or domain list also. So this is required only if if you happen to have some addresses and then you do not want them to be added as an artifact to the cases. So that you can allow list, you can do there. Or you are going to this extension, or you can enhance the script also, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. So let's just see about how we can create the incident out of an email. So this script is done. So we have changed the assign the initial owner of the incident. So once this is done, we're going to save and close. Okay, so once this is done, save and close, and then we're going to create a rule, because what will happen is that, so the script is there. Script cannot, trigger on its own. So we have to create a rule so that it can trigger it. This rule is something like if you happen to work on QRadar SIM or any other, SIM platform, the rule, let's say for example, QRadar SIM. Okay. So the QRadar SIM will have, flows rule, events rule, common rule which can work on both events and flows. Also, it has offense rule which can work on top of offense type, right? So when I go ahead and create this, I want this to be triggered as automatic. Menu item, what is menu item? We'll see that in the playbook section. Okay. So when I create this new rule, new automatic rule, just give it a name. Okay. Create incident from email. All right. And then object type, it has to be a email message. So if you choose the wrong object type, what will happen is that even though your condition is perfectly fine, it's not going to trigger because the object type is different. Similarly, I mean, like if you happen to create a rule in QRadar, same that, uh, for some conditions, For events, you're supposed to create a rule, and by mistake, if you're going to create that as a flow type of rule, then even though your condition is exactly accurate, it's not going to trigger. Okay, so it will be looking at the flows instead of events. So similarly, so there's object type. So if you happen to create incident, then it will look at the incident kind of object rather than looking at the email messages. Okay, so be careful about the object type when you create rules. Conditions, what would be the condition? So we'll say when email message is created, as soon as an email message is arrived in the SOAR platform. Okay, so that's when message is created. What will be the activities? There will be only one, which is a run script. Okay, and run script, you can choose. If you happen to have different scripts, you can choose that one after another. We have just version 50, so we are going to choose that. So when the email message, this rule states that when the email message is created, you're going to run a script, and that script name is process inbound email version 50. Save and close. Okay, so this has been already created. So this is the rule. Okay, create incident from email. So now status, it says disabled. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to enable the status. Okay, email message is created, and this save and close. So now this rule is created. Okay, and the email message is created and is enabled. Okay, now if you go to script, you see this, there is a rules column on the script. Okay, this rules column states or gives you an information about what kind of emails, what kind of rules are basically associated with this particular script, who can trigger this script. Okay, and in case this is the gray and white foreground and gray background, right? So if I this create incident from email. Okay, so this is gray background and white, meaning the rule is active. Okay, so if we disable the rule, which I had done earlier, so if you go ahead and just toggle this button, that means the rule is disabled now. Okay, and if we go to script, then if you see this turns red background and then white foreground. So this means just by looking at the script rules column, you'll get to know if the rule associated with this particular script is disabled or enabled. Okay, so if it happens to be disabled, then we can go there and then click that toggle button to enable it. Come back and see the rule is enabled. Okay, now what we can do is this inbox parameters. We had earlier created this QRadar SOAR email. So this has come already, right? This has come already. So what you can do, you can create it by hand. So if there is a problem, right? If there is a problem processing the incident, what are you supposed to do? Can you do it manually? Can you do create the incident manually? Of course you can. You can take the information, read from the email. By the way, so this inbox is not, a full-fledged inbox in the sense that you're not going to read the messages that has been sent. The email body is not here. So for that, just have to download the content and read. So this message has come already, So what you can do, you can just download, read the messages in the body, and then create the incident. Go to the create incident field and then create incident by manually putting or entering all the information, right? But there is another, easier way to do that. So what if there is a way so that I can, process, if there is any way that I can process this unprocessed email and create the incident automatically, the way it was supposed to be done. Okay. Yes, there is. So what you can do is go to this customization settings, scripts, and then this is the script, right? So you know which script was supposed to process the inbound. Because of some problem it could not. So I'm going to go to that script, and you see this run button. Okay, so I can go ahead and run the script manually. Okay, so what it's going to do is that it's going to ask me enter email message ID. Okay, so you have to specify the message ID on which the script is going to run. Okay, so how do you know what is the message ID? You can see that from the inbox. You see this ID column. The purpose is that. So ID is 13. Go to customization again, go to script, and then click the script, run, and 13. Okay, so and then finish. And it should come up, right? Run complete. Okay, now the log level debug. So this information, so this is probably, let me see if I can extend this. Okay, so yeah, so this is how it looks like. I mean, if you want to run the script manually, so this is the script is able to, you know, identify the fields. The field name, incident name. Incident name is generated as this. These are the value and these are the fields of the incident which has been set. Incident generated from email, phishing attack test email by mailbox, QRadar SOAR email. And the incident owner is set to user1@example.com. If you remember, we have changed that new incident owner to user1@example.com. So it set that user as the initial incident owner. Date discovered, and then incident reporter. Incident reporter will be the name of the email who sent the email to soar@example.com, who has reported that incident. So that will be the incident reporter. Okay. And then, you know, so the script also able to identify a few artifacts that were added. Email subject, phishing attack test email, and then it was able to identify the URL, https phishme.com, suspicious URL. And then it is also able to identify the IP address that we have sent in the email. So this has been added as an artifact to the incident. Okay. So that's about it. I'm just going to close it and then let's go to the inbox. All right. If you see, there is no email lying around here. Okay. So this new box or this inbox clean means that, you know, your automation is working perfectly fine. Your email automation, which is able to create, process the incident out of those email. You know, it tells you that your script has created cases from all of your emails. Your script, by having said that, it means that the script that you have created, which is supposed to process the incident out of the email, right? That script has created all the cases from the emails. Cases in this case is incident. So if it is this, if it is clean, meaning there is two meaning. So there are two meanings. So one is everything is working fine, or you know, the email inbox is not properly getting email. So there is no email coming at all. So either of those. Incidents, go to incident, and if you see phishing attack test email, this is the email created. Okay. Incident type is by default set to none because we have not said, we have not, you know, announced the script, or you have not specified the script in the script to set a particular incident type, because you can you know, set a static specific incident type. Let's see that script and then go to this one, and you know, I'll just go there. Somewhere down the line, this one, main line starts here. So there is this one, add phishing as an incident type for the associated event incident, right? So what I can do, I can just go ahead and then, you know, click this incident type and mark it like this, add it like this, incident.incident type, ids.append phishing. this has to be a valid incident type of the SOAR platform, right? So in this case, what will happen is that while creating the incident from email, it is going to always create phishing type of incident. All right, we do not want that. So you can also put enhance this script with some intelligence regexes around. You can read the entire content of the email. So based on some regexes, you can check the uh, subject line, or you can check the body of a particular word occurrence or something like that, and based on that you can do some calculations or manipulations in the script itself. Since this is Python, you should be able to do that, put that in a conditional statement, and then you can get what you want. So right now what we can do is that once the incident is created, we can go there. Okay, go there, and I can always go to the details and then click on edit and then choose an incident type of, let's say phishing. Okay. And then I'll click save, and it should prepare a response plan for me. You see this? The following 23 tasks were activated, meaning this incident now is treated as a phishing attack. So the SOAR platform has already generated a response plan for me. So what I'm supposed to do to remediate this particular incident, right? So this is this is how you do it, or how QRadar SOAR generates incident out of the email. And if you're wondering where that email went, so there is an email tab. Okay. So once the email comes, it will come to the inbox, but you may not always see those because it will be always processed. If everything is working, it will come and then process. So it may always looks clean to you. So once it is processed, the incident will be created and that email will be attached to the email tab. Here, you can always find that email. And the subsequent communication, all right? So if there is a to and fro communications, so those email will be attached here, okay? As long as the similar subject lines is maintained. All right. So now that this is how you create unprocessed email. So let's try and create a just a quick one. Uh, Maybe if it is creating automatically or not. So let's try it out. So at example.com test, bootcamp demo incident. All right. I'm give nothing here. Okay. Just a test. All right. This came, and let's see the inbox. Okay. Inbox is empty. So probably, so what I can do, I can go to the incident and see this is automatically created. Test bootcamp demo incident. This is automatically got created out of that mailbox. All right. So this is how we can do outbound email configuration. If you are wondering, uh, how you can enhance this, you can of course enhance this. There is a documentation, official documentation that is available. There are some instructions around how to, enhance this script. Go ahead and read it. So the documentation is available to you on the platform itself or on the IBM website, right? So here's the documentation. The documentation will be available there.